this dusty and windy desert full of shrubs along the Kenya-Somali border in Mandera County, you can travel for hundreds of kilometers without sighting even a single wild fruit to eat. Northern Kenya is experiencing its worst drought in 40 years. At Lafey Shopping Center, 118 kilometers south of Mandera town and less than 20 kilometers to Somali, rivers and wells have dried up, pastures have turned to dust, causing the death of thousands of livestock. Amid the worst drought in history, Mohammed warmly welcomes us into his teeny makeshift hotel. In the midst of the drought, he still wears a charming face.
5 years, kuna hii mvua.
Even though this is one of the major pastoralist areas in northern Eastern, Mohammed stopped selling tea with milk a long time ago after all the milk-producing animals perished due to hunger. Not even camels were spared. All the hotels here serve black tea, which is quite expensive. Water is the main driver of the high cost.
Kuna haba mezua ni sababu ya umekufa yote ya mbuzi na ng'ombe na ngamia. Hakuna mvua, hii yote umekufa. Hakuna hii hata maji, hakuna maji hata kidogo. Hata wakati unaomba hoteli ya maji unapeleka huko, unaleta maji.
Milk now is a new northeastern gold. Similar to other areas in northern Kenya, Lafey has not seen a drop of rain in 3 years. The only few remaining starving goats cannot produce milk to serve their owners, let alone for sale. The goats feed on anything edible, hoping for manna to fall from the sky soon. As I sip my hot black tea, Mohammed and his chef tell me the prices of foodstuff have more than doubled due to scarcity as a result of the drought.
Watu ile miskini hakuna chakula iko bei ghali sana. Watu ile ingine watoto unakufa njaa kabisa.
Hakuna mvua. Mvua hata chakula mbuzi gamia nataka chakula. Mvua hapo.
Serikali ifanye nini?
Asaidiwe. Angalie msaada yote.
Walete chakula ama
kila kitu yote hata nyasi aletwe. Asaidiwe.
They hope that one day the government will intervene and give them relief food. They fear that they might close their business if the drought continues to persist.
Mzua ya mbuzi hakuna, ya gamia hakuna. Ya nini ile ya mkebe anauzanga 2,500. Sokoni anauzanga 2,500.
More than 100 kilometers from Lafey in this rural village, the village is isolated and, as is often the case in these forgotten northern regions, school children have been forced to skip school and walk tens of kilometers in search of water. The local borehole pump broke down and the well dried up.
Shida yetu ni maji tu. Hakuna maji, si shida ingine. Sawa, dunia iko ukame, hakuna chakula. Hakuna mtu anasaidia sisi.
Nikwambia hiyo pula hakuna maji. Sisi taenda mtoni. Naenda kutafuta maji mtoni. Alafu kuna hata maji.
When we asked about some girls going to school, they said, well, if we didn't have to worry about water, we could make sure that those girls went to school.
Carcass of animals, including donkeys, dot major roads in the north. Some of them died after traveling for long to the few water sources available. Some might have taken more than their emaciated bodies could hold. Some animals have also been left to wander alone and find their way home if they want to return. If they don't, well and good. No one is bothered. Not only Mandera that has been affected, other Kenya's arid northern counties of Garissa, Wajir, Isiolo, Marsabit and even Turkana face severe drought, with the pastoralists already losing millions of domestic animals. The north is mourning.
The drought has directly and indirectly affected everybody, because the few families that are in the urban centers are overstretched in helping their families that are, the pastoral families that are in the various villages. As such, it has not left anybody unaffected.
Despite its historic magnitude, this drought, which could continue into 2023 if predictions of an upcoming failed rain season hold true, has been fueled by climate change due to human activities across the world and total lack of rainfall.
I wish to appeal to humanitarian agencies, to people of goodwill, to bring to the attention of the national government, although I know the president sometimes back declared the drought a national disaster, and it really is. And it is actually getting literally out of hand.
It's no longer a drought but famine, characterized by food shortage that has affected 4 million people, with many struggling with malnutrition and starvation.
We don't have much death currently, but we expect the situation to deteriorate, and because of lack of pasture, lack of water, and then settling in, because of most of the livestock have migrated, the children which are left behind, the elderly, the mothers, have no, especially the milk access. Food is also scarce.
Mali yetu imeisha, huko badia hakuna kitu, hapa hakuna kitu. Tunakaa empty hivi, tunataka usaidizi kwa serikali kwa namna yoyote. Ndio watu iko na njaa ya kutosha.
Nearly 950,000 children under the age of 5 and 134,000 pregnant and lactating women are acutely malnourished. According to official figures, hundreds of school-going children have been forced to stay at home and look for water.
Watoto pengine tunaenda tunakamua mbuzi pengine kidogo kidogo, tunapatia maziwa kidogo kidogo, pengine maziwa hapatikani. Hasa saa hii maziwa hapatikani, mpaka tunaenda tutafuta maziwa ya lile ya box. Watu kama mama akizaa tunaenda hospitalini, pengine anazaa nyumbani, mpaka lazima natafuta saa hii akizaa maji hapatikani, mpaka mama akizaa mpaka unaongojea maji mpaka saa 11 tunaenda kisimani.
Na wake ambao wengine ambao wanavingirisha mtungi kutoka pale mpaka kilomita 20, wengine wanapata madhara katikati, wengine sababu wa afya na sababu ya upungufu wa chakula, wengine wanapata madhara katikati, wanaanguka.
These communities were depending on, especially Wayu was built a Baruva water pan, which retained water for almost 6 years, which has not dried up. But because of the intensity of the drought this time, because of the last 4 seasons that have failed, the water pan has not recharged, and now it is dry. Similarly, all the water pans in Tana River County are now dry.
Neighboring Somalia has also been hit extremely by the drought that is ravaging the Horn of Africa.
UN agencies are already responding through programs of cash transfer, nutrition assistance, water and sanitation support, and health services.
Only a few water points remain, and they are far between. Residents travel hundreds of kilometers to the water points, and many of the starving animals do not make it to the water points.
I think the most drastic situation we saw today was the water pan with absolutely no water in it. I understand that it's never been that way for the 6 years that it's been built, and we were just amazed at how there is absolutely no water. And then we went to two, I guess I call them water holes, and we see where people have dug down and almost risked their lives to bring out water for this community. So clearly water is the solution. Water is the problem.
In this Turkana village, the nearest town is Loyangalani, more than 50 kilometers away. Residents here have watched their animals die one after the other. The ribs of the dead cows stretch towards the blessing sun as parched herders walk past, a day's march from the water-elusive oasis. Even the donkeys used to fetch water have also perished. Many people now walk to get water, clutching a jerrycan in each hand.
Hao wanawake ambao unaoona hapa wanaenda distance ya kilomita 20 kutafuta maji. Na hiyo maji ni kisima. Ni hiyo kisima. Ngombe wanapata maji pale, mbuzi wanapata maji pale, na binadamu wanagangana pale. Wakiondoka saa 12 ya alfajiri, wanarudi saa 8, saa 9 ya mchana.
Not much has been done to save the people of the north. The dire situation here is also not attracting the attention of the international community.
We have been able to discuss and will continue to discuss during our time in Kenya what more the United States can do to help Kenyans in a great hour of need. Just now, we discussed, again, the historic drought, and know that Kenya, in being part of the Horn of Africa, finds itself really in the epicenter of a much larger global food crisis.
An appeal for aid funds for Ukraine has raised $1.92 billion in just 6 months, nearly 86 of its target, according to the UN. The much smaller appeal for the drought in Kenya was only 17% failed.
We engaged non-governmental organizations. Funding for non-state actors and non-government has been drastically reduced. Immediately, Kenya was declared a middle-income country. And their position has been, we believe Kenya will be able to support itself as a middle-income country to deal with the current drought.
We deliver additional resources. Earlier this week, I announced $1.2 billion in new money for Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya together. And today, I've described the money that we'll be dedicating to meeting the food crisis in Kenya. But again, we need other donors to step up as well.
Even though the county governments have not done much due to financial constraints, they have invested in sinking a few boreholes here and there.
Subnational government or county governments have limited resources, and they're ill-equipped to deal with a catastrophe of this magnitude. We've been trying to do the best we can under the circumstance with minimal support to deal with borehole.
The blame now being passed to the national government for not fulfilling its promise to protect the lives of the people and their property.
Not everybody can be reached through cash transfer. About 10% might not be reached through cash transfer. And then we are looking for interventions. Not that we are looking, but we already have the humanitarian support on the ground through the chiefs, where the government has been buying food, package, and distribute in arid and semi-arid location, and then the people affected can reach for that food through the chief's office.
The reality of the drought circumstance and the reality of government response is far apart. The difference is like day and night. You know, the circumstance is extremely, extremely pressing, bordering catastrophe. Around this time, there should have been an air of emergency within the government of Kenya to try and respond.
The plight of Kenya's far north has been swept under the rug as many voters boycotted the August 9 general election with the cries of no food, no elections. Maybe the cause did not draw attention because it was in the midst of an election campaign of a high-stake presidential election.
We also partner with Red Cross to distribute the food, and also other development partners who are supporting the effort of supporting those who have had difficulties in food security, especially during this time of drought.
Only a few places have received relief from the Red Cross. Many people in the large swamp in the north remain hungry and thirsty.
Tubati zimesaidia kwa serikali upande yake. Serikali ndio imegawanya kwa muda kidogo kwa chakula. Na juzi imekuja Red Cross ambayo wanunua ng'ombe wakichinjwa. Hiyo ndio zimeonekana sisi msaada. Ng'ombe imeleta kama hii buru location imeleta kama ng'ombe 50. Wamechinjwa na wameuzwa, watu wamepatia pesa. Kila ng'ombe moja nimekuuzwa shilingi 15,000.
In Isiolo, livestock owners and traders decrying lack of buyers as their emaciated animals continue to succumb to the prolonged drought.
Mali yetu nanunua anagonda kwa mkono wetu, hakuna makastoma. Ingine kama mimi nabeba wiki 2 wiki 3 amekufa. Hii nyasi tunanunua na pesa shilingi 400. Mbuzi ukikula siku 2 sijui kama anatika tumbo anakufa peke yake. Hata hatuwezi kata shingo. Sasa ile kitu kidogo si tuko naye amemalizika na hakuna mtu natusaidia. Mwenyezi Mungu tu tuko naye na mali yetu amemalizika kwa mkono wetu.
The drought now being at the center of pasture conflict between different communities. 2 middle-aged men from Musungwa area of Seikuru ward in Mwingi North admitted at Mwingi Level 4 hospital after they were attacked while in their farms by camel herders.
Likatakana na mashefta alipopato kwa shamba ikiendelea kupalilia ndo apande. Bado sisi tulikuwa kwa nyumbani tukapata ripoti amekatakata, kwenda huko tukapata waria wamekuja hapo, waria vijana 3 na mzee mmoja wakamkatakata, na hii shida imekuwa kwa muda mrefu.
According to the victims, several herders invaded their farms to forcefully graze their camels.
Wakiwa hawana mahali pa kulisha, hata wakikuta chakula kwa shamba wanaweka hizo ng'ombe kwa hiyo shamba lako, na uwezi ukawatoa hapo. Jaribu kuwatoa, wanakukatakata na wanakufukuza. Kwanza unakimbia na waachie hiyo shamba walishe.
The conflict between a Kamba community and camel herders has been witnessed for decades, where during dry season, a conflict ensues between the two communities after camel herders forcefully herd their camels into their farms. The herders, who mostly come from Wajir and Garissa counties, forcefully graze their camels into the farms, and when locals resist, chaos erupt.
Wanaleta fuko yao kwa mashamba. So hiyo ndio ile shida tumekuwa nayo kwa muda. Tunaomba serikali wakuje watusaidie.
Scientists predict that the drought could continue into 2023 due to the effect of climate change and rising global temperatures. The past droughts were largely predictable, but due to climate change, temperatures in northern Kenya have climbed by 0.34 degrees Celsius per decade from 1985 to 2015, based on data from the US government. Different counties have opted to reverse the effect of the climate change, which is the major cause of the prolonged drought.
Ya kwamba pia kwa sababu ya mabadiliko ya hali ya anga, ile damu ambayo tuliamini kwamba haitakauka haraka, ishakauka kabisa, haina hata tone.
In parts of Mandera County, locals in partnership with the county government have started an initiative of tree planting with the sole aim of reversing the erratic weather conditions. The locals seek to plant unique trees to lower the rising temperatures across the region.
By area, we don't plant trees, we grow trees. You know, it's like a baby you have to look after for almost 3 years. Now, when we look at the program of tree planting, we sat down and we said, how can we make it sustainable?
The county government seeks to turn Mandera into a green city. Those in the forefront are women and children. To encourage them, they are paid monthly stipends.
We brought 1,300 mothers together, and we gave each one of them 15 to 20 trees depending on that, and we did some water infrastructure like masonry tanks, and we also hired water boozers to be able to get water to the masonry tanks.
More than 300,000 trees have already been planted in the town, and the area turned into an income-generating platform. People from other regions are also using it as a benchmark for climate change mitigation.
We had, at that time, we had 4 objectives. 1, climate change mitigation. Number 2, support these vulnerable mothers as a critical part of the society that needs to feel the impact of devolution by resources from devolution trickling to them, despite the fact that they might not have degrees and high school diplomas or Form 4 certificates. Number 3 was to use the tree planting as beautification of our urban centers.
The initiative has also been adopted by different schools here in Mandera County.
The climate of this area is relatively very hot, humid, and unfriendly. And having very many girls in the compound, we thought we should make our environment friendly, have some cool air, and also beautiful. And it became a very good project for the school. The students were motivated because at least they get some cool breeze, and therefore the attitude of the students towards the school changed. The workers, most of the times it is the students who water the trees. The workers also do the watering of the trees voluntarily. Right there you can see that beautiful roundabout full of trees being taken care of by the school driver. We also have the watch security personnel who also take care of the trees. We have the teachers who have their own trees. We have the school environmental club that also take care of most of the trees. We are happy we are very happy because this is one of the government initiatives, actually the presidential directive, that we should have tree cover, or we should green the environment every now and then. And I am happy that our compound is very beautiful. We have a lot of fresh air. The students have places to relax. The teachers also, after the hard day, they also have a very comfortable area to relax. And we'll continue planting trees. We have also gone on to plant some flowers. The flowers have made the place to be very, very beautiful. And the community has appreciated this initiative, and we have partnered with many other groups of people. The Equity Group, Mandera County, we have also planted some trees. We also have the county forest department that has also supported us with the seedlings. We are quite happy, and I'm sure we'll continue planting the trees until that time when we feel that we are very comfortable with the environment.
But these cannot save the entire north. For the pastoralists of northern Kenya, savings are held in livestock. The drought has now whipped out their livelihoods and is now threatening their lives and the generations to follow.
How many families is, literally everybody. The degree could vary because purely 100% dependent, a person dependent on livestock and who has lost the entire livestock is severely affected. Others have lost half their livestock. But literally everybody is affected.
We will go out of our way to make sure that no lives are lost for the people, and to try as much as possible to mitigate the losses from their livestock.
Now banking their hopes on three things: that rains will fall soon, relief food will reach them, or more boreholes will be dug.
I've also found giving cash transfer makes the government more accountable rather than distributing the food itself, which through distribution sometimes we find inefficiencies, some delayed, and sometimes maybe there could be some fraud where the amount of food that we have dispensed from Nairobi does not reach Northeastern on the right time.
Sisi hamuna mwanasiasi, hamuna MP, hamuna council, hamuna MCA. Sisi tumesaidia chief peke yake tu. Chief pia kama hakuna mwanasiasi, hakuna mtu ambaye anasaidia na yeye.
Governments, national governments cannot deal with drought. Subnational governments will not be able to effectively put, 100% long-term solution without direct support of the national government, because funding comes from the national government.
Kuna shida, mali imeisha, na hakuna mtu nashikilia sisi mkono. Kwa ngosa hii nafika sisi wenyewe watoto na sisi tuko kumalizika. Kwa hivyo serikali atushikilie mkono, atusaidie, mali imeisha. Kwa sasa nafika binadamu ndio iko kuisha.
I call upon on all players to come forward and support this emergency situation.
KTN News, the Parched North.